So today we're talking about period underwear. It was bound to happen. I care a lot about products that make my life a lot easier. And if I could share this knowledge and my experience to help others, even better. It's an area that a lot of people deal with, and that is every month, and sometimes for some people, the lucky ones, it's not every month, we have a thing called menstruation. And it's a messier deal, folks. It's painful. It's a commitment to staying, healthy, productive. It's hard. So again, anything that comes along that makes that process easier, I'm all for it. But I would say an early, somewhat adopter to period underwear, because pads are really, really difficult. Let me explain why. For someone like myself who has to rely on other people to help in the bathroom process, telling someone else how a pad should be positioned in your underwear and then put on that underwear with the pad and then telling someone that process too, really, really hard and frustrating and awkward. I don't like tampons and certainly couldn't deal with menstrual cups. So throughout the years, the first product that I've ever tried was from a company called Thinx. They're really cool. And Thinx, I tried, I'm gonna say, I think the first time I tried them was in 2016 when we got married. And I tried them actually when we went on our honeymoon. We were in Savannah and I bled through the dang panties and we had to deal with that in the public bathroom.
Thanks, Kay.
Yeah, our assistant Kay at the time was really awesome, and she was very cool about it. But they weren't quite hitting the mark. I would say if you wanted to use me as a reference, I have a pretty heavy flow. I wouldn't say I'm endometriosis heavy, but I definitely use maximum absorbency pads for the first and second days of my period. Thinx underwears weren't really it, but I continued wearing them because one, they cost a lot of money, and two, they were really good for when the period started to taper off. So for the longest, I thought nothing else was out there, but then there was this proliferation of these brands. I looked into them. There's one I think called One Period, another one called Isle, which is what we're going to talk about today, and then there's Thinx. Of course, we talked about that. And then there's Knix. I have a pair over here. There's so many. There's just a lot. I tried Knix. And I did their maximum absorbency sleep short. It had the same or very similar material feel, swimsuit type feel to what Thinx had. And it's okay. I don't like it. They're really long in the torso, so you have all this distance, and this one was size small. I have a very small space between my hip bone and my rib cage, so this didn't really work for me. I don't have a long torso. It feels very awkward on, and then what's worse is the pad inside isn't very absorbent. That's good. They have material to the side. Where Thinx, I bought another set of Thinx, and I had to return and stop using because they didn't work either. They would always bleed off to the side of the absorbent padding part. But this one, it's not that thick. It's very soft. It's very nice inside. But the problem is it doesn't really go all the way to the back of the butt. And we'll get to another one in a moment of why that's a really, really important feature. So I didn't buy more of the Knix. So I kept looking. And then the Canadians came through. I found a company called Isle.
God bless Canada.
Indeed. I kept hemming and hawing on the style that I wanted to try out because it's not easy trying out period underwear. It's not like once you could return them. I mean, this is something where you have to guess the sizing, but I tend to like a hipster type style, and I got this. I got the one, and I also had to get the highest absorbency because I wasn't gonna play around. Okay, I'm going for the goal, and the goal is no more pads, disposable pads, and something that feels really soft, comfortable, and easy to get on. How easy was it to get on last night, Dan?
Very.
Dan had
And I am not used to
yeah, it was the first time you ever did it, right, Dan?
Probably.
Yeah, he put on these one time. Okay. Oh my lord, they were all sorts of cockeyed. And then he also helped me put on the Thinx, and ow. Anyway, so these are way more comfortable. The material is like super soft. I mean, we're talking a very soft t-shirt type material. It's very different from the other two brands. So far, so good. Then when I got them, I'm like, okay, what about the seams? Now they do have a seam on the side hip, but it's further behind your hip, so it kind of like is almost to behind your butt. So in that regard, if you're lying on your side sleeping, it's not gonna dig in and bother your skin. So
Stop.
yep.
Yeah.
And then they have another seam that's like in front of the hip bone. So again, you have nothing directly on the hip bone, which was a big deal for me. You have this really soft material, and then what gets really interesting is you have this like absorbent material in the gusset. Now, I like the fact that, I mean, mind you, there isn't a lot of space, okay, between, like where your business is and where you're bleeding, but it is really absorbent to the point where I don't have the same problem as I did with the super absorbent hipsters from Thinx, where I was bleeding off to the side. I do really well. It has like a pocket, or you put in what they call a booster. Stay with us, Dan. And a booster is this. It's like, it almost looks like another pad, because when you're really heavy, you have to put this into the pocket, which I always do, because, for instance, yesterday we didn't have care show up suddenly, and I was on this thing for like 9-10 hours, and this was my first day. So this stuff holds a lot, okay? A lot. It's awkward to put in this booster, but I can do it. Like, and if I can do it, I think a lot of people can do it. So I put the tag side or end first into the hole. Then I kind of like pull at the tag, and then it comes out on the other end. It kind of gets bunched up when you put the booster in, because this part isn't as wide as the actual booster. I don't know why they do that. I don't know if it's like a scientific reason or just poor design, but you get bunching, which I would imagine for some people isn't comfortable. I don't notice it. It doesn't bother me. And so the booster fits exactly to the point where the absorbent material stops. And this is the problem. These underwear would be absolutely perfect for nighttime and daytime wear Though I do change them. So like every time I go to the bathroom, which is only 4 times a day, I change out and put in a new one. I don't know about you guys, but when I lay down and I sleep, period like will flow all the way back to your back. Like sometimes. So they stop the absorbent material too short. They need to extend it all the way to the waistband even. Like it linked through and I got stuff on my sheets. So now on like the first and second night, I have to sleep with like a chuck underneath me because yeah, they're pretty good. Sure, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Oh my god. Okay, actually, I think that you're supposed to tuck this in, like, all the way. This is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I may have been using my period underwear incorrectly. I think you're supposed to tuck it all the way in so that it doesn't stick out of your underwear. But, you know, that's going to make it even grosser to take out and rinse. Okay, so this is like a type of chuck, but this is like heavy duty chuck. It has quilting and stuff like this, and I get it from Amazon, and so I sleep under this. And then on this side with the blue, it's like slippery a little bit, but this is really thick. Okay, this is a regular chuck would be kind of thin, and these are a really nice size because they're not too big, and I can put them on my chair. I really like them, so I would prefer sleeping under that one instead of like a really, really big one that makes all the crinkly noises. All right, guys, well, we hope that was helpful, and these period underwear have changed my life. Okay, until next time, folks, if you like this episode, subscribe. We do wonderful content here on the Ginchiest. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep it Ginchiest.